Good morning. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. I'm going to give you a minute to get your coffee, and then we will hang out for a few minutes. I want to check in and see how you're doing. Yeah, that's that. Birds are chirping today. They are feeling it is a beautiful day. We had really weird weather yesterday. As you join the coffee this morning, please say hello in the comments. Morning, Kath. I'm going to give people another minute. And yeah. Good morning, Darlene. How are you? Morning, Kelly. We're just going to give people another 40 seconds or so. Please say hi in the comments as you sit down with your coffee this morning. Hello, Helen. Got your cafe mocha. That sounds really good. Kathy's probably having her chai. It's good. I'm having my Noble Tree coffee today. So good. So good. All right. Well, good morning, sunshine to you, Miss Karen. All right, friends, welcome to Virtual Coffee Club. This is our place of connection, our community landing spots, our we're not alone in this world kind of place. So thank you for taking an opportunity to have a coffee this morning. You look so nice this morning. I'm glad you can't see me. That's no fun. Yeah, I think that's part of the fun. For me, I've always loved makeup and playing with makeup and having fun with it. And it's not about, oh, I can't leave the house without it or any of those things. I just honestly just love to play. It's kind of like, I don't know, maybe it's like art for me because I'm not artistic in any way, shape, or form. If I could be super artistic with it, you would see. I mean, I've sort of fallen down the rabbit hole of TikTok a lot lately. And there are a lot of videos in there of people doing these outrageous makeup transformations. Have you seen these? Where, I mean, I especially love and will always admire the extreme artistry that comes along with those who dress in drag, and the ability of the makeup of these folks is astronomically beautiful. And the way they do these transformations, I am always awestruck. And I think they possess an incredibly beautiful talent that I would love to do. I don't think I have the patience or even the time to do makeup on that level, but I've watched people do where it's even like movie makeup and costume like makeup, and it's crazy the artistry that goes along with that. So now that I say that, I feel like I shouldn't have said that at the beginning, but it is what it is. Thank you for the compliment, Darlene, is really what I should have went along with. Good morning, Rats. Good morning, Jim. Good morning, Mike. Hello, Cheryl. Kelvin's here with us this morning. Hey, friend, how's it going? So, yeah, that's what I was thinking about. Now, today, I was having a really good conversation yesterday about emotional exhaustion. Anybody else? I mean, you're going to have to raise your hands in the comments if you feel like having that conversation. But anybody else feeling like they're maybe hitting a few walls of emotional exhaustion? Or maybe you're feeling like, gosh, lots of different things. Like when I looked up my beautiful friend Fauna and I were talking about this last night, and we looked up all the symptoms, because that's what we do now. We look up symptoms for shit online of what is emotional exhaustion. And I should have had the list ready to talk with you this morning. But basically, if you have been feeling like, one, you're just tired. Two, you have irrational anger on different days. Three, absent-mindedness, headaches, lack of motivation. And it doesn't mean you have all of them all the time, okay, when I say this. What were some of the others? Just sort of a feeling of hopelessness or despair. Depression could be one. Anxiety or nervousness was another. Any of those pieces. Those are all signs of emotional exhaustion. And I think a lot of times we take, because I was saying to her, I feel so tired lately. I just can't knock feeling tired. And even if I get a good sleep, but then we've got to think about for a sec, friends, everything that we have been through for the last year and a bit is taxing. Okay. Every single day, we don't know what's coming at us. We don't know what to expect next. We are always on edge, waiting for the next news story, the next information, the next piece. And it's just this ongoing thing. I was going to find, when I had the Dr. Jody Carrington thing the other night, she made a great point that I'm going to find in my notes to share with you. But I guess I just wanted to take a moment today to say, if you're feeling any of those things or you have any of that happening, one, it's totally normal right now. Two, you're not the only one. And three, there's ways to get through that. And a lot of times the flip effect, the how do you fix emotional exhaustion is to ensure you get a good night's sleep, which sometimes feels like it's easier said than done. But friends, they make melatonin in a gummy now. Okay. I made a joke the other night that you're old when your edibles are to help you sleep better. So they make melatonin in a gummy form, which I tried this week. Works fantastic. I also know of a really great sleep spray, a melatonin sleep spray that I use from the company Arbonne, which I also really, really like. Other ways to counteract the effects of emotional exhaustion is to take an honest goodness break if you can. Checking in with a good friend, going out for a walk in nature, making sure you're fueling your body with healthy choices, getting a bit of exercise. These are all things that help with emotional exhaustion. But I'm not going to lie, when I went over that list last night with my friend, because I was like, okay, I can do the friend check-in. That one I can do. The rest of them, when you're that exhausted, feels a little bit overwhelming. Okay, so you're like, okay, so all of the things that would help me through this are all the things I'm feeling shitty that I'm not already doing. Is this what you're telling me? But it's taking it one little piece at a time. Does that make sense? Cheryl says, I hear you, sister. Helen says, thanks for April for the heads up on the seed potatoes. So that's good. What else? The pandemic has affected many people in different ways. Yeah, to say you're unaffected by it is impossible at this point, because there's something that has happened for everybody. But the great part about that is, okay, friends, you're not alone in that, and we're going to get through it. But I just thought sometimes just acknowledging something helps us work through that piece. And so if your symptoms are heavier than any of those things that I said, it's always beneficial to check in with a professional or make an appointment with your family doctor and just double check that there isn't something else going on in your world. But I think that there's words that go around to describe a lot of pieces through this, but just being exhausted on an emotional, which affects your physical level, is just really, really normal. And we'll get through it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And I think I just needed to acknowledge that yesterday. Okay, I want to look at my notes because there was something I wanted to say. Oh, she was talking about dealing with the after effects of trauma and different things. And so we feel our most distressed when we are uncertain, when we're afraid, or when we feel like there is no end in sight. And I feel like those are the three descriptive pieces when Dr. Jody Carrington said that describe the pandemic, do they not? So you're going to feel distressed in that time frame. And I don't want to, live in a whole space of unpacking that in case you're looking for a little bit of motivation and sizzle today. But I thought we should acknowledge that we're probably all, a lot of us, traveling around in the emotional exhausted dinghy. And maybe we just have to, I see a visual like, okay, I'm in my emotionally exhausted dinghy. Helen's over there, Cheryl's over there, Kelvin's over there. Like, we just got to bring these dinghies together, friends, and then we can connect. And that's what I hope happens here in Coffee Club. So yeah, if you're feeling that, name it to tame it today. Put it in the comments. Where are you at? I know I had another friend who sent a text this morning that was like, today's going to be an amazing day. I hope you have one too. And I needed to hear that this morning. I needed their bubbly positivity and excitement to spill over into my cup a little bit. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. It is going to be a really great day. And I am really excited about today. Thank you for the reminder. Sometimes we just have to remind each other of those things because we're like, well, it's just another day. What are we going to do today? What is there to do now? What next? We have that feeling quite a bit. So yeah, I thought we would share that today. That's kind of like as far as my thought went. The coffees are just going to continue. If I don't recharge, like the coffees are just going to continually go to a place of like, and then I had no more thoughts. If that makes sense at all. Good morning, Pamela. I hope you're having a fabulous Tuesday. What's nice, I think, for my neck of the woods is yesterday we had the weirdest weather. And I don't know, like wherever you're watching from, kind of what your weather's been doing but April's always a mixed bag of weather. We know this in Canada. We can be blizzardy snowstorm and beautiful. The crocuses are popping out of the ground the next minute. Like this is what happens. So yesterday for us in Southern Alberta, I know that they'd got a lot more snow to the north of us, but we had like snowflakes. At one point, I looked out my window and there's this gorgeous sunbeam, and in the sunbeam is a whole bunch of snowflakes. It's weird. It's just weird. And it was just felt cold and gross yesterday, and it was gray and it was, and then it just adds to that exhausted, drained feeling. Am I right? So today, what's nice is the sun is out. I don't know if it's particularly warm out yet, but the sun is out. So that feels good. Cheryl says Bailey's is her bestie through this. I get that. Scott says it's kind of cold. Yeah. Darlene, some days I feel emotionally drained, so I do a physical activity. Mostly I cook or bake. Yeah, it's countering it, right? That can sometimes feel like, and it's even just the ease of stepping outside and going for a walk, even if you just go around the block. That's it. It doesn't have to be that you're ripping up 5K or you're getting in something. Just take a walk around the block. And I definitely need to take my own advice when it comes to that, I will admit, but that's what that can look like. What about you? What's on your mind today? What are you doing on this beautiful Tuesday? Where are you headed? What's happening? How's work going? We talked about sleeping a little bit. How about too, when we go through our 5, what's your play looking like these days? I had an interesting conversation with another friend yesterday just about the fact that it hasn't felt like, and I think we've tried really hard, friends. I think we've done really good at finding the fun things. But for a moment, can we mourn or accept the change of effect in our life of that we used to go out to do things and it was fun. It added fun to our life. And even if it was just going different places or it didn't have to be anything huge. It was just that there would be this element of fun. And it kind of feels like we lost a little bit of that. So, what does your play look like? What are you doing to add those play elements? I think at the beginning, a year ago, we like to watch lots of online concerts and we were trying to do different things. And then we just kind of have got fatigued with that. So, do we pull out good old fashioned board games again? Do we try to find ways to have play in different ways? We were talking, if you were with us on Saturday morning's coffee chat, we talked a little bit about some fun things that you can do in your neighborhood, where it's playing sidewalk chalk X's and O's with your neighbors, or those great big huge games. You know, you can get like the giant checkers or the giant chess, or they even make a giant Connect Four. That's always a really fun game. Getting access to whether you purchase games like that, because I think you can find them on Amazon. You can rent them from the library. Doing fun big games with neighbors might be a way to add in an element of play, or at least with your a family or your little pod, whatever you're calling it these days. Those were some fun suggestions that we had come in about adding play to the everyday, I guess, for lack of a better term. What do you think? What's sort of crossing your mind? What are you thinking about? What does that look like for you? Good morning, Heather. Good morning, Angie. Heather says, I can't wait for warmer temps to get out paddleboarding. That feels like a long ways away for Alberta, but you're in beautiful Kelowna, so we get that. Pam says, I made a treasure map adventure with the grandkids. Well, that's a really fun way to play. It's just, yeah, we have to get a little bit creative with that, and we can do it. But I guess the theme of today was acknowledging some of that emotional exhaustion, working on ways that we can sort of tame that. That's kind of my goal of the week. And then adding in some elements of play as we get further in the week. That's kind of what I'm thinking. That's what's on my mind today. So would love to hear what you have on yours and plans and things that you're doing. I think it would be cool. Helen says, what about starting a drive art show? Like a drive-through art show, like we could line the streets with art and then drive down it. Is that what you're suggesting? I love it. Yeah, or if you have say in your community, whether it's like a popular street or a really cool park that would allow for it. Like I think of in the High River area, George Lane Park kind of has that drive circle piece, which was really works well when we put Christmas lights in there, but maybe it's putting art through there. Or yeah, I love the idea of picking a street, or if you had a large parking lot somewhere in your community, and then you could have like, it could be like a tailgate party, but of art. And so then everybody's just driving through looking at the art. Yeah, I like that, Helen. Cool idea. Keep them coming. Throw them into the comments. Let's create a list of things that we could do. And then ways that community is feeling connected through this portion also is, I mean, we're probably home. Those who are artists are home painting or creating really cool things right now. So let's show them. I think it would be really cool. Yeah, we had drive-by birthdays. Let's have drive-by art show. You could really do, I mean, they do in Calgary, they created something called curbside concerts, which I think has done really well through there. But you could do something similar to that sort of concept. So kind of like busking, but it would be drive-by. So again, you'd have to find the right sort of quieter street or large parking lot, say at a school or a recplex or something. And you could station different musicians in, say, the back of a vehicle or on a lawn chair or something. And you could drive up, listen to a song or two, put a tip in the tip jar, drive to the next one, listen to a song or two, put a tip in the tip, like, and it would be like drive-by busking would also be a really fun thing. What do you think about that? Lots of possibilities. And we're all safely in our cars. I don't know. Maybe it's a cool idea. It might be kind of neat. If you think of other ideas today, because hopefully we've kicked your hamster into high gear a little bit, please come back and post them in the comments and we'll have a bit more conversation on that. Good morning, Pamela. Welcome. So think about that. I love this drive-by thing. I think we could think of some more fun things to do with that. Yeah, Helen, kind of like a parade. What else? What else pops into your brain? What does that spur? Keep the conversation going. Start the conversations in your communities, and then let's share them with each other for other communities. I think it will be fun. Okay, friends? All right. Have an amazing rest of your Tuesday. Keep those ideas coming, especially if you're joining us not live today. We want to hear from you also. Have an amazing rest of your day. We will see you back here tomorrow morning for another edition of WTF Wednesday. As of right now, I do not have guests booked, so it won't be as wild as last week, but we can come and get things off of our chest and give us an opportunity to just express ourselves. Burge reminds us to think positive and do love throughout the day, which I love. Thank you. Angie says, what about for those of us who don't drive? Well, I feel like driving could include bicycles or scooters or something like that. I'm not sure it's safe at this point for a walking version of that, but maybe there's an opportunity that's, I don't know what the handy bus is looking at. There's options, Angie, if you dive into them and think about what that looks like. Even if you have someone who's taking you to different appointments, you're in the back, they're in the front. Lots of options out there, my friends. We just have to put our brains together and come up with some solutions. And I'm excited to see what else you think of. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you back.